All right, so this is from Ozark, and you were just beat up by that guy, and the only way to make it equal is, you believed that. What's your character's name, Lamont?
Marty.
Marty, said she was untouchable, but they beat you up, and so now the only way to even the score would be to kill the guy who beat you up, and so he's basically coming in here and telling you what he can and cannot do. And this is basically the beginning of the end of their relationship based on how he treats you here.
Yeah.
And you almost died. So let me turn off my camera. I think you were in a coma, weren't you?
Yeah.
Was it? Hey, Lamont?
Yeah.
That's what
She got beaten up so bad she was basically in a coma for a couple hours, at the night, and just woke up. Not so
Okay,
long.
so she was in a coma, so that's bad. That's how bad it was. And you woke up. And do you actually wake up with now?
Like she just woke up, like maybe.
We've done it both ways.
So how are we doing it now? Are you already awake?
I was gonna already be awake, but
Sounds
like
good.
we were
That's
saying,
fine.
I just woke up.
That's fine. You can do it that way. That's cool. All right, here we go. Think a little bit about what's just happened. You're disoriented. You're not really even sure where you are and what happened, and now it's kind of starting to creep back. And I haven't said action yet. Just take one moment, Lamont. Think a little bit about okay, so she just woke up, and she's like a daughter to me. Action.
It's really nice to have you back.
Frank Jr. did this. You know that,
I know. I've cut ties with the Casey mob. You'll never have to work with them again.
right?
What do you mean?
Frank Jr. crossed the line. I'm untouchable. That's what you said.
Yeah. We should talk later. You've been through a lot.
No, I'm letting you
It's not possible.
I was feeling like you're taking it into consideration.
Because it can't happen.
You see the look on his face. Sometimes scared him off, he would have killed me.
We should talk
There's
about.
nothing stopping him from finishing the job.
We should talk about this later, okay? But I promise you, he will never put his hands on you again.
You're not.
Like Ruth, what he did was unforgivable, and I should have did a lot more to protect you. And Frank Jr. will have to answer for his actions. But killing him is not a solution.
No, people don't understand. They can't see that.
Ruth, I cut ties. Like you're just going to have to accept that this is the best version of it.
Okay. Stop acting like you're making some huge fucking sacrifice. Tommy was a rat, and the FBI knows that they moved money for you. You would have cut the loose anyway. Charlotte was lying in his bed. We wouldn't even be having this conversation.
That is not true. You know we love you. Come on.
Oh my God, you better touch your face.
Your dad did nothing but hurt you your entire life. So, you what? No, you won't. I did, all right? It's done. This ends now.
All right, you guys, that was great. I think we'll be able to put it to bed, but we're going to just do one little exercise real quick beforehand, okay? So here's all I want you to do, just one small adjustment, Augie. Everything's great. You did really good.
I felt
Okay?
really bad.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, it was really good. Okay, so if I was to say to you, I mean, have you ever had surgery?
Mhm.
And you know, like when you wake up and there's the disorientation, but there's that pain. It's just everywhere hurts. I can't explain it other than, you know, it just hurts to talk. It hurts to move. It hurts to breathe. It's just like I just don't have the energy. It hurts too much. So it's like the wear and tear of that. If you can just bring a little bit more into the soul of that kind of pain and just speak up a little bit more so I can hear you, then I think you're golden. And then Lamont, the only thing I would say to you is when you see her, you know, it almost causes you. I mean, if there was ever a time that you would get emotional, it would be now. Like she is like a daughter to you, and it is take that responsibility that it was because of me. You know, I should have handled this before. You know, it should never even gotten to this place. Right. You know, had I dealt with this before, it would never have happened. And now look at her, and it's like your daughter, and she can't move, and she was in a fucking coma. So she was this far away from dying. So, you know, you need to think more, Lamont, about like the connections you have to family, friends, and be there in the hospital, and what it would feel like if, gosh, I always forget his name, John or Jim.
Yeah.
John, you know, when he was younger, he was like your son, and he was like that. And he got the shit beat out of him, like, because of you. Because you didn't do enough. And now you're trying to make it right. And now, you know, it hurts. It's almost like one of those situations where it's like, this hurts you as much, if not more, than it's even hurting her.
Right. Because
of the guilt, because I can't bear seeing you like this. I do want to kill him. I really do. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So if you can bring that quality to the scene, then you're done.
Okay.
So see if you can do it. I think you can. I'm going to turn off my camera. So a little louder, and just like, I want you to imagine, you know, I took, you know, a 2x4, you know, and I punched you in the face with it like 4 or 5 times, and then I punched you in the stomach, okay? And you feel the bruises as I'm pain, and your ribs hurt. Even though you're on pain medicine, it still fucking hurts. Action. Take your time, Lamont. Oh my God.
It's really nice to have you back.
Right, Junior, did this, you know that?
Yeah. I know I've cut ties with the KC mob. You'll never have to work with them again.
And
What do you mean?
breaking across the line and untouchable, that's what you said.
It's okay if you feel like you want to start crying, Augie. He's like a dad to you.
We should talk later. You've been through a lot.
Oh, no. I want you to kill him.
That's not possible.
It doesn't really seem like putting it into consideration.
Because it can't happen.
He was your hero. Augie, he was your hero, and he's letting you down. It's like, you know, he was a god to you. Oh my
Because
God.
it can't happen.
You didn't see the look on his face. I mean, he was. If he hadn't, someone had pulled him off of me, I mean, he would have killed me. And there's nothing stopping him from finishing the job.
Look, we should talk later, right? But I promise you, he will never put his hands on you again.
No.
Ruth, what he did was unforgivable. And I should have did a lot more to protect you. And Frank Jr. will have to answer for his actions. But killing him is not a solution.
Of course it is.
Give me that line one more time, Augie, and just use your lower register. Talk from your diaphragm. Just let it
Of course it is. Of all people, don't understand how you can't see that.
Ruth, look, I've cut ties. You're just going to have to accept that this is the best version of it.
For who?
Remember, everything hurts, Augie. Hurts to smile, hurts to look, hurts to breathe. Your cheeks are puffy.
What happened? If you made them through the fucking sacrifice. Tommy was a rat. The FBI knows that they moved money for you. They would have cut you loose you would have cut them loose anyway.
Take your time, Lamont. Wow, you didn't know that she was thinking that way.
Look, you know we love you.
Charlotte was lying in this bedroom and we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Oh, that's not true. You know that. You know we love you.
Of my dad. He really even touched the kid. He had him killed.
He did nothing but harm you your entire life. So
Then I will kill him myself.
no, you won't.
Then fucking do something about it.
I did, all right? This is done. This ends now.
See?
Okay.
I can't.
Yeah, very good. You're done. You're done. Way to go. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, you did.
I don't feel satisfied.
Okay, well, I mean, it doesn't, Don used to be like, it doesn't matter if you feel. It's like the audience feels, like,
right.
So, you guys took the notes really well. Like, you took the note that I gave you about like being punched in the face with 2x4 and, letting that impact you. And also the hero that affected you and infected you. And then also on your end, Lamont too. Like, I felt like when you looked at her today, like, it was like, oh my God, like it was me. I caused this, and then taking that beat too, when she said, you were going to do that anyway, you just kind of look like you got your hand stuck in a cookie jar, caught in a cookie jar, like, and you're like, it's not me. Okay, fuck, she caught me. Like, I was trying, fuck, she's so sharp. Like, even high like this, she knows.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you guys, it was really good. I think it's time to move on. Did you have a question?
I still feel like I'm having. It's really hard for me to reconcile, like, or to manage between, like, physically feeling so low energy and in pain, and not like being able to move, and also like the fiery energy of like everything emotionally that's going on. Like, and I feel like, I don't know, like, because my pain, obviously, like, my physical pain is in my head, right? It's fake, it's active, I'm feeling it, but when I move, my body's not reminding me that it hurts, right? That like I feel like I'm just like holding, like feel like I'm watching myself the whole time, holding myself back from like moving physically. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it seems like your body is sort of remembering not to move. You know, you kind of trained it through the rehearsal process of.
But then emotionally, was it like fiery enough? Because I felt like
it was
if I was in that situation, I feel like I would have been fierier.
Yeah, but again, you've got to remind yourself that if you get too fiery, then I don't believe you were in a coma.
Right.
Like, I'm looking at your eyes. Like, all I'm looking at is your eyes to see is there fire there. And I saw, especially one of my favorite moments was when I kind of first reminded you that, you know, you look up to him and he's letting you down, and you looked like you were about to start crying. And like you were looking at your hero, like looking at Superman, like doing drugs. You know,
and it made me feel guilty. Like looking at her eyes did make me feel guilty.
So you know, the weight of it was coming through. Maybe you didn't feel it throughout. And you know, don't forget also, like, you've never done a scene like this, so it's a learning process. And maybe next time, a lot of the stuff that you're doing now, it's already in you, and you'll keep growing. So sure, okay, I'm sure there are things that, you know, you feel like you could have maybe done something else. But I mean, it's like you're on a unicycle juggling fire while at the same time, you know, dancing. And I mean, there were a lot of things you had to deal with, you know, and so you should be proud of yourself. It was really good. And Lamont, it was really good, man. I mean, it was very touching. I felt like you were like in a corner, and I don't know what I can do. Like and you know, it's done. We got to stop. We can't. Time to move on. Good job. Thank you.
Thank you for all your help. And
you guys were great.
We got another scene from Ozark that makes her more of the normal Ruth.
Yeah, it was really good. Really good, you guys. Nice job.
It's really nice to have you back.
Start again, Lamont. I want you to start again, Lamont. The reason I want you to start again is because when you walk in, it's the first time you've seen her like this.
Oh yeah. Well,
what would that be?
I've been there all night, but she's just not waking up. But, yeah.
So you have to make a choice. Like, if you are walking in,
okay,
you know, either we're going to start the scene and you've already been here, or you can start the scene that I have not seen what she looks like, and I didn't realize it was this bad. I just need to know what you're playing.
I'll do that. Yeah, I'll do that.
So then take a moment to sort of absorb what this is. You know, okay. And if you're changing the story a little bit, then that's okay. But I just need to know in advance what you're doing. All right. So let me turn the camera off. So here we go. Ready? And action.
Really nice to have you back.
Frank Jr. did this.
Yep. I've cut ties with the KC mob. You'll never have to work with them again.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Frank Jr. crossed the line. I'm untouchable. That's what he said.
We should talk about this later. You've been
No.
a lot.
No. I want you to kill him.
That's not possible.
It really seemed like you're putting it into consideration.
Because it can't happen.
You see the look on his face. Someone hadn't scared him off, it would have killed me. There's nothing stopping him from finishing the job.
We should talk about this later. Okay? But I promise you, he will never touch you again.
It's not enough.
Ruth, what he did was unforgivable. And I should have did a lot more to protect you. Frank Jr. will have to answer for his actions, but killing him is not a solution.
It is. Well, people don't understand how you can't see that.
Ruth, I've cut ties. You're just going to have to accept that this is the best version of it.
But for who? Don't act like you made some huge fucking sacrifice. Tommy was a rat. If FBI knows they moved money for you, you would have cut them loose anyway. Charlotte was lying here, we wouldn't even be having this conversation.
That's not true. You know we love you.
Killed my dad, and he barely touched your kid. You had him killed.
He never did anything but hurt you. So,
I'll do it myself.
you won't.
And fucking do something about it.
I have, okay? It's done. This ends now.
See?
Very nice, you guys. Okay, I get to see this look one more time, which is, I mean, it's weird for me to say it's fun because you just look in such pain, but it's getting better, but it still needs some work. And it's, you know, you guys just did it last night, so let me give you a few things, but it's getting better. Okay, like I got some of the things we talked about last night, but I want on your end, let's start with you. If you are going to play it like you have not seen her this way, if that's the choice you're going to, again, we can also just play it like as you said, I've been sitting here and this is sort of almost mid-conversation and I've been here for hours. That's an option. I'm okay with that. But if you are going to make this choice that I have not talked to her yet, save for maybe on the phone, you know, on a speaker, whatever, and said I'm on my way, and you've had some of the conversation already, but it was on the phone as you were driving to the hospital, and then you're like, I'm here, I'll see you in a minute, and you walk in. That way you can have the conversation, have already talked it through, and not have seen her. But I'm not getting from you this look. Like if I mean, even now, me as Brad looking at Augie was more shocked at what I saw today than you were as her father.
Okay. Yeah, because I can do it that way, but I had played it as she was in a coma, and I've been there all night, and she's just waking up. So I've seen her the whole time.
I mean, so you're telling me right now she just woke up from a coma?
Yeah, I mean, that's...
You just dug yourself into a deeper hole.
I've seen her, so physically I've seen what she looks like all night, but, you know.
All right, well then, okay, so that's okay, but she just fucking woke up from a coma. She could have died.
Right.
She could have never come out of the coma. And you're telling me that, I mean...
Are you saying I'm too calm, or what are you saying?
I don't know, Lamont. You just, you know, your defense of your choice is making it worse. Because, not worse, I'm teasing you a little bit. I'm saying the reality is she could have never woken up.
Okay.
So if you want to make that choice, that's great. So you've seen her, but she just woke up. I need to see, thank God she woke up. Like, where was that?
Okay.
Like, she could have never, you know, people are in comas for years. She could have died. You don't, at this point, you just don't know what's going to happen.
Okay.
There's no, I don't know. And you're saying I'm sitting here and suddenly she starts talking. It's like, you got to take that moment, Lamont, and like, she's my daughter. Thank God. Thank you, Lord. Thank you. Where was all of that?
You're right. No, because I thought it, but it was. I went right to the next point, so I didn't.
My gosh, like just yesterday, like I mean, and, you know, I'm an animal lover, and by the way, yeah, we'll deal with that in a minute, but like I took my cat to the vet yesterday, and when you take it, they take him away, and I had to leave him there and pick him up. There's that. Okay, I hope he's okay. I hope he's okay, and then because he had to be put under anesthesia. And there's always the possibility that they can die, from that, even though it's but he was okay. But there is that moment that it's like, oh my God, please just let it be okay. I know it's like a very rare thing that it can happen, but it can happen. And I saw him, and I was like, oh God, thank God. So she woke up from a coma. So what I felt yesterday, you got to multiply that by like 1,000. If she's like your sister, like your daughter, excuse me, and she was in a coma, and she woke up now. You want me to push you, Lamont, as an actor? I'm pushing you.
All right.
Bro, so you can book this. So if you're saying to me she just woke up from a coma, I'm looking at a guy who's just seeing his daughter wake up from a coma. So let me see that. Take that moment. You can't even talk because you're so thankful. If you're gonna play that moment.
Okay.
And you were hoping that she was not going to suggest what she's suggesting. And you played it like you knew already.
Okay.
So what I think you can make a choice is, I'm going to say we're never going to work with them again, and she's going to be okay with that, I hope. I hope that should solve the problem. And then she suggests what I was really hoping she wasn't going to suggest. Fuck.
But with her, I'm kind of expecting that's what she's gonna say, but I'm hoping she won't get married.
I am saying to you, yes, you can play it that way, but I would play it like she's just gonna. I mean, she just woke out of a coma, and she should be right now, at least, she'll be fine with that. I'm really hoping that she'll just accept that and we can move forward. And she'll just heal. And, maybe later she'll want more revenge, but we'll deal with that later. But right now, she'll just be fine with it. But she's bringing it up right now. And it's like, oh, God, the woman who just woke up out of a coma and that I promised I would protect. I can't do that. Like, that was just so easy, Lamont. So you're going to have to work on that.
Okay.
So I think that this is a scene where most people would say, all the hard work in this scene is Audie's job. Because she's the one who got beat up and dealing with all the pain, all those. Your part is fucking hard. And it would be very easy to kind of just gloss over, well, I'm just the guy watching.
Yeah.
But you have a lot of stuff going on if you want to convince me of all of the things that you are in the scene. Her father, like her surrogate dad, and the promises that you made, having to deal with looking at what the fuck? Looking at her and seeing her like this. Lamont, like seeing her and she just woke up.
Yeah.
So, you have any siblings or kids or anything?
Brothers, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And your brother, he's in a coma and he just woke up. You would probably be fucking so thankful that you would almost be put into a coma. Because you'd just be so emotional. And then you got to take your time. You can't just roll right into the line if you want to convince me. I have notes for you, Augie. Don't worry.
Oh, I know.
Let's just go with Lamont first. This whole thing, Lamont. What's that?
No, I felt like I rolled into it way too quick, but at that point I was like, I already started.
Right. Yeah, it's all good. Listen, it's just we're working the scene. That's what we're doing. You didn't do anything wrong. It's just part of growing. this whole thing about like she's saying, about you killed my dad. Like her argument from your perspective doesn't make any sense. Like from your perspective, I saved you from an abusive father who was violent, mean. So don't say to me that I killed your dad like it was bad. From your perspective, I'm saying, like this was an evil man, and he was capable of doing who knows what from, I assume, your perspective. Right. Remember, I think even Ruth says like he's never gonna leave.
Yeah.
And even when they give him the money, there's still the possibility that when he runs out of money, and he will, he'll gamble it away. He's gonna come back, and he's never gonna leave. And this is the only option. And so you saw it as a good thing that you organized and took it on. And yeah, I know it's painful that you lost your father, but this was a man, this was a bug that you needed to just, unfortunately, put to sleep. You understand?
Yeah.
So it doesn't make any sense that she's saying, hey, you killed my dad, like as if you did something bad. Like that's an example of something I did do. I know I can't kill this person, but I did this for you.
Yeah, okay.
I could go to prison. My wife could go to prison. And we did this to protect you. So what are you saying to me, Ruth? I did a bad thing? I was doing it to save you and to protect you. That was an example. So your argument makes no sense. I'm not saying it's like, you're in a courtroom making an argument. I'm just saying her argument doesn't make any sense.
Because I see that line and I was feeling that way, but she's laying on the bed broken in half. So for me to like go off on her, so I was like,
I don't want you to go off on her. I'm just saying you can just acknowledge that it doesn't make sense is all.
Okay.
So then you say, I think what was it? You say, I promise this is not going to happen again.
Yeah, he's never going to touch it again.
That line to you, Ruth, is almost laughable.
Yeah, because how the fuck he can promise that? He can't.
He already said that line.
Yeah.
I'm untouchable.
I was untouchable, and now here I am in this fucking hospital bed, and now you're saying, oh well, I'm gonna try harder, and now he won't be able to get you. And I'm like, well, now he knows he can get me.
What do your promises mean?
Nothing.
So that's you need to let that land.
Okay.
And I'm not saying you're gonna. It's a strange thing because you're laughing and crying.
Yeah. And both hurt.
And hurt physically, but like as we were talking about like last night as well, like this whole experience is painful for you on so many levels. That's one of the things that makes this role so fascinating and fun to play. Is just there's so many layers to her and what you're going through. Like the realization that your dad, your hero, your dad, your hero is not the man that you thought he was. And yet he says to me, right in front of me, I promise this will never happen again. Wait a minute. That was said before.
Yeah, I say that doesn't mean anything because think about how nothing that promise is if he had killed me. He almost did. I could be dead and then what? You don't get 2 chances. You don't get 3 chances because I could be dead right now and I will be next time.
You already promised that if I was untouchable that you would basically kill him. Mm-hmm. And now you're saying you're not going to kill him. And so instead you're saying, I promise it will never happen again. That's like you saying, I promise you're untouchable. Or there's going to be consequences. You said that last time.
Yeah.
And your consequences are something that you were going to do anyway? Are you fucking kidding me? And by the way, Marty, you need to also have a moment where it's like, I forgot she was that bright. That she would see through that. Like, from your perspective, you were hoping she might even like buy into it for a moment. Dawn, I don't know if you realize your camera's on, and I think we have somebody delivering some food, and let me see what I can do. Stop their video. That was funny. All right, so you guys, do you understand? Okay, so
Well, I have a quick question. If you were looking at one thing I was having a problem with is just trying to find my objective in this scene with her. Am I trying to get her to understand why I can't do this, or am I just feeling?
I mean, I think that you're trying to be the best father you can be under these circumstances, in all ways. And part of that is making her understand that killing him can't. I know I promised you, and that was a mistake. I can't fulfill that promise. I'm sorry. And I want you to understand that even people like me who you look up to make mistakes. But I think that, from your perspective, having to admit that you made this mistake and I can't do what I promised, that's the difficulty.
Yeah. Okay.
Does that help a little bit?
Yeah, it does, because I was kind of in the middle of I know I'm trying to get her to understand, but at the same time, I guess I'm trying to get her to understand that I want to do this, but I can't. Also, but that we have to.
And also, I'm trying to remind myself that I can't do that. I can't do that for so many reasons. And what about the consequences of the fact that I can't do that you're dealing with too? The way that Ruth, my daughter, is now going to look at me. I mean, when I say to her, I promise this is never going to happen again. Do you have any awareness that she's so bright that she's laughing at that promise?
Yeah, I know how she is.
She is so smart. Again, she calls you out on the consequences bit. And I want to see your reaction to that. Almost yeah, I forgot that she's that smart.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
And so she sees through you don't see it as a manipulation. It's just I'm trying to just do the best I can under these circumstances. So this hopefully will calm her down and make her feel like I'm doing something. But anyway, that's, so Augie, I think that, yeah, I mean, for me, I think the main thing that you need to work on, because today I feel like you were not as vulnerable. I feel like you need to open up more, and I want to feel the loyalty crushed. The hero is dead, and he's dying in front of. This cannot be. I'm looking at you, and you can't be that guy. When you're looking at him now, you've never seen him this way, ever. And the way he's saying it, how I don't know if it's ever happened to you, but I've known people who have done some things to other people, and you're like, man, that was a dick move. Why did you do that to him? And then the person does something else, and then you're like, well, fuck, you can't do it. And then suddenly he does it to me. And you don't realize, oh yeah, that equation could happen to me too. And that's what just happened.
Right.
The things that he has done, you thought you were the exception.
Yeah. I'm the one he does those things for, right? Any shitty thing he does is going to be to protect me, and then here he is not doing that, just being shit to me.
Being shitty, and by the way, he does the same things to his kids.
Yeah. And he's not.
And his wife.
The way that I thought he could.
And his wife, by the way. Remember he bribes the therapist?
Yeah.
I mean, what kind of husband are you? Paying the therapist off to just take your side.
Goal-oriented.
You have to look at it from a heroic stance. Because I believe in what I'm doing. My wife doesn't understand, and I'm trying to save my marriage.
It's all to protect the family, period.
Yeah. So from whatever, and this is to protect the family, and she's in the family, and I'm doing what is best for the family. So Ruth, please, I'm begging you, just try and understand me. I promise this is never going to happen again, and I want to see your reaction. like somebody took a fucking arrow and just stabbed you in the heart when he says that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard for you to talk because your voice hurts, but it's also hard because you're welling up in your eyes. Like, you're, but it's just, all I can tell you is just the loyalty is being killed right in front of you. Like, it hurts so bad to be betrayed.
I think, yeah. I think I have an idea of how to move forward. I think one of the things that got in my way today, and I didn't expect it to until I did it, was like I was really worried, I think, about like not being like, I don't know, like strong enough as her. Like she like, but now I'm realizing like, oh, okay, like that quality of her doesn't have to make me come off as like less vulnerable or less her at all. It just means that I'm like even extra more uncomfortable with the fact that I'm being this hurt emotionally. Like I don't think that's something.
I'm not quite sure I'm following what you're saying. Can you try and explain it to me again?
I think Ruth is a very
it's Augie under different circumstances.
Yes. I think I'm a person who's not typically comfortable like saying that things hurt my feelings.
Right. I love that. I love it.
Yeah, and so
where was that?
Right. I was just,
you're doing the best you can to explain your feelings.
Right.
And this is your version of that. Your version of explaining my feelings is you said I was untouchable.
Mm-hmm.
And that's underneath all of that is your feelings, right?
Yeah.
So is that what you mean?
Yeah, I think I was worried of coming off like whiny or overreacting, which is ridiculous because to me this is the biggest thing in the world. Mm. And somehow I was going up against that, tackling that by like not wanting him to see how hurt or upset I was, instead of like trying to be okay and get what's right.
And try to mask that I'm weak.
Right.
That's fine. But the problem is that the power of the weakness is too strong. It's bleeding through.
Right. Try but fail.
Yeah. So it's that volcano metaphor. You know, you're trying to put that cap on an erupting volcano, and it's erupting. It is erupting, and you put a cap on it, and you're trying to keep the lava from coming out, and it just starts piercing the side of the mountain. You know, and it's pops some holes, and those are your eyes.
Yeah.
And that's where I feel it. Like when you said I was untouchable, like that is a line that, you know, you're crying.
Yeah.
It can't be happening. The guy who's supposed to protect me is stabbing me in the back right now. Looking like this. He's doing it to me right now. Mm-hmm. He's my hero, and he's stabbing me in the back. Remember, this is the end of the relationship after this. You go and work for the other family, and you become enemies, basically. Mm-hmm. So this is it. This is the breakup, if you want to call it that. You don't realize it, Marty, but it is for Ruth.
Right.
You're never going to be the same man again. Uh-huh. And I want to see that change occur in the present, Augie. That's the fun of this moment, is the transformation inside of you of looking at Superman now as a villain. And that moment is what we're watching happening now. Like watching you look at him with different glasses. You understand? Like suddenly he's different. He's dirty. Tarnished. Whatever you want to call it. Can't be. You put him on a pedestal. And now he's way down. Wow, way down. right, you guys, I got to move on, but you're on the right track, very much so.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, just again, all I would say to you is just keep doing what you're doing, both of you. You're on the right track. Augie, just keep working on, the swelling. That's all much better. The pain's better, but today you were a little too healthy. And I'm also talking about emotionally.
Yeah.
So the weight of what's happened to you is overwhelming. The gravity of this situation right now is too heavy. It's like an elephant just sat on you. All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. Cool.